was speaking a bit about this off air. The fact that there's so many bakers now. Like, how do you set yourself apart from all the competition that's out there?
I think what helps me set myself apart is, not getting too caught in the moment of comparing myself to the other bakers, and just remembering to stick to what I know and to my brands, and not following different trends. And, as you mentioned earlier, that I have that same aesthetic theme going on, because that's what makes me stand out. And I think, that's just the business game, that there's going to be new bakers or businesses pop up left, right, and center, but you've just got to stick true to your brands, and don't get too caught up comparing yourself, because you could waste so much time and energy comparing yourself to other brands when you could put that into your own business and thinking of ways to, okay, what can I do to make my sound stuff out? And I think we were talking about, off air, that I need to do this and I need to do that, because that's what's going to make me be different from the other brands.
Yep. The hashtags, how do you find the hashtags to use?
I literally just put anything and everything and just trial and error. I think I knuckled down. I just like, okay, if I was looking for someone to make desserts, what hashtag would I look up? So I would put Melbourne cupcakes, Melbourne desserts, Melbourne parties, really elaborate on what I'm really looking for as a customer and looking at it from the outside. And I think that's what helped. And if you see, all my hashtags are consistent, it's always been the same. I only change it if it's a cake, cupcake, or it's a different dessert. But they're all normally consistently in the same. And I guess that's, I find, because even when you use certain hashtags, depending how much engagement you get, it'll be on top of, that hashtag, and you'll see it, so that's, I guess that's a good tip.
I think that's an awesome tip for people, because a lot of people look at it from the other side, from what they're producing. So they'll do like cupcake, icing, sweets, whatever else, but they don't look at what a consumer might be searching, like the parties and the catering and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's absolutely invaluable.
Definitely.
To put yourself in a prospective client's shoes. Have you had any difficult customers or difficult, like, bad feedback somewhere that you've had to deal with?
I think in any business, you're going to get feedback and constructive feedback. And I could definitely say I have, but, without that feedback, I wouldn't be able to grow and learn from it. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. And I take any negative or constructive feedback. It's just a lesson in growth. And I find, when I've have been given feedback, they're just genuine feedback, and it's like, oh, this color wasn't right, or, this height isn't right. It's minor things. I've never let negative feedback get to me, because if I don't, I'm stuck, and then I don't grow. And I think it's a really important lesson to, when there's failures, that's this road to success, because that's when you grow and you learn the most from, failures and feedback.
And was that feedback online, or was it sort of?
No, it's, I guess, a lot of the times I ask for reviews, and I ask, can you provide me feedback? And it's just genuine feedback, and I really appreciate some people actually take the time to leave Facebook reviews and that. So if they're not happy, they just simply let me know. And I think because I've built that rapport and relationship with my customers, they feel comfortable to give me any sort of feedback. And, over the years, it's not big things to me, and it's not something I get a lot. But at the start, of course, you're going to get negative feedback or constructive feedback. So
I think it's important, and it's also invaluable, because you get caught in a false world that you think that everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine.
And all of a sudden people stop buying from you.
Yeah.
And you still think that everything's fine. And you don't know how to fix it.
Exactly.
So if people are telling you, things that are actually constructive, because there's two types of feedback. There's feedback that's just negative, and there's no amount, like, you could have delivered the perfect cupcake, and it's still going to be negative about it. And there's feedback where it's going to help you improve, or it's something genuine that that they wanted to voice their opinion.
Exactly.
So I think that's awesome that you actually ask for feedback as well, because a lot of businesses we deal with don't proactively ask. They just make an assumption.
Exactly, and I think you're right, because when you're so busy, you're doing your business, you forget, about, at the end of the day, your customers are your number one supporters. Without them, you wouldn't be where you are. And I think you're right. Like, at first it was very scary to ask for feedback, because you want to be perfect, you want to be the best. But I learned that if I'm not getting feedback, I'm not going to be able to grow and make things better. And a lot of the times the feedback I get, the customers still come back to me because they're comfortable to give me that feedback, and I just keep getting better. So I think it's really important to be vulnerable and ask for feedback.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself going? Like, do you want to grow do you want a retail front? Do you want to open a cafe? Or
my dream, like, I would love like a shop front, and I just visualize it, and I see, getting up and, you know, you get the business people, you know, you get the tradies and you get all like the factory workers. And, you know, I just keep visualizing it. A shop front would be my dream. You know, I think of, there's a cafe called Georgetown Cafe, you know, it's big in New York, and it's, you know, it's like, it's a really neat big front. It's neat. It's modern. It's just cupcakes, you know, and that's my goal, is just having a vision in mind, and a shop front would be my ultimate dream. But for now, it's still working from home, and, you know, if that's what it's going to be, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. Can you give us an example of collaborating? Have you done some collaboration?
Collaborating, definitely. I think I get asked, you know, like for events, emails. I get, you know, like bloggers contact me, but I'm very pedantic of who I work with, because I don't just accept left, right, and center who's going to promote my brand, because I'm very strong in it, you know, and I believe in my brand. And a lot of the time, people just contact me through social media. Either it's Instagram, a direct message, or it's an email, asking if I can attend their event, or if I can, you know, do their bridal shower, or, you know, any of their events, and then we collaborate, and they'll post my things and I'll post theirs, and it's a good way as well, because then they become long-term customers as well. And I think that's how my network grows as well, when celebrities and stuff contact me, because they've seen that I've worked with other, you know, bloggers and celebrities. So that's, you know, that works a lot, and to help my business. So
And so how did you get involved with Melbourne Fashion Week?
So they literally just emailed me about 2 weeks ago. I was really late on checking my emails, and they asked me if I could, you know, make desserts for them backstage for their VIP guests. That was really cool. So things like that, you know, keeps me going, you know, because you think, oh my God, like I'm just this Melbourne girl working from home, and people, you know, just contact me and ask them. And I think that's really big for me, because you feel all the hard work, you know, the side hustle you're doing, you're getting noticed, and that's a really big thing for me.
Yep. So, Nikki, give us your 3 steps for someone that's going to start their side hustle.
I think number 1 is do your research. You know if you need to be registered, register your business name. If, you know, for me, if it was kitchen, I need to register my kitchen. Just making sure, like I said before, everything is, all your dots and your lines are all crossed. Secondly is have a good social media engagement strategy. You know, what are you going to post? What's your theme? You know, what type of audience do you want to attract? And then I think thirdly is just collaborating, working really hard, and just the main thing is just hustle. Is just really hustle, and also just believe in yourself that your business will grow. It's not going to happen overnight, and just be consistent.
Tell us about the sacrifices that you had to make, and the sacrifices that someone that's looking to start a side hustle would likely have to make to be successful.
I think, you know, to me, it's a lot of sacrifice, because there's weekends and events, you know, that I have to say no, you know, or it's going out and being the desert driver, because I know that, okay, I've got clients coming in the morning, or I know I've got to finish this, and it's sacrificing that and knowing when I need to say no to things, because it's either I go out and I party, whereas I know if I do that, I'm going to lose time when I could be doing baking and doing other things. And I think that's a lot of sacrifices. People tend to forget that it's a lot of hustle. It's not easy. You've got to give things up and put things into perspective and think, okay, what's important, going out and drinking, or, you know, staying home and working on the business. And I think that's, for me, is something I live by, because not everyone's going to understand, but it's if you know that's what you need to do to build your business, that's what you've got to do, is just hustle, grind, work hard, and sacrifice things that normally, you know, you would be doing on a weekend or going out during the week, and it's just a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah. And I guess there's nothing wrong with going out and drinking if that's what makes you happy.
Yep.
But it's more like a lot of people that I come in contact with, they talk about the romance of having their own business or starting something. Yeah. But they're like, I don't have time.
Yeah. You know, and you know, there's nothing wrong in going out and drinking, and I just think, you know, I've tried to, oh yeah, you know, I'll be all right. I'll go out tonight. I'll be fine. And then you feel like crap, or you're behind in time, and and that's where you learn your lessons. Is maybe I shouldn't have gone out. I should have, you know, just said no, and I should have just stayed home. And that's where you learn. But everyone's different. If you've got the right balance, I mean, or do it. But I think for me, I just found sacrificing. And you know, like I think I've touched earlier, that you've got 24 hours in a day. You know, wake up earlier, wake up at 4, wake up at 5, leave that party or whatnot earlier, because you've got to make most of your time, because when you're working still 9 to 5, that's already half of your 8 hours of your day gone. So include your sleep time as well. You've got very limited time. So it's just be planned and sacrifice things and wake up earlier, go to sleep earlier, and it's just making the right time.
Lastly, I want to ask about something you touched on a little bit before. How you structure your day. Like if someone's watching this and they're about to launch a business, or they are launching a business but they're struggling with their time management. I know how busy you are, so can you give someone some tips on how to get organized? Some really practical things. Like for me, I literally write down a list.
Yeah, I'm the same.
And the next day I'll cross it out and write a new list.
Yeah.
And it's not the most efficient sometimes, but I find it easier than using a diary or whatever. So can you give someone some?
I think I'm very similar. My phone and writing is a big thing for me. For example, on a Sunday night, I'll write down a list of what I have planned for the week, my normal work, try to finish training and working. And then come the day that I need to bake, so say on a Friday, I make sure I've got all my baking things ready. I've got everything prepared. I make sure I don't go on social media. I block things out and just be really structured. You've got 24 hours in a day, wake up earlier. I get up 4 or 5 in the morning sometimes just to make sure I fit in that time. And it's just being really consistent and committed and just being really well planned, so just writing things down. My calendar on my phone is like my Bible. Literally, I have everything color coordinated, everything's in teal, that's business, everything that's work is blue, and just being really well organized, having that balance.
Yep. It's awesome. Well, we're going to wrap it up there. We've got some cupcakes to eat. As soon as I post, well, you can't have any, so we'll have some. But as soon as I posted that, people were like, "Hey, save me one." I'm like, "Nah, no. They're just for show. They're not. You can't eat them.
You can actually eat them.
Yeah, we can eat them. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem at all. Well, all the best, and we'll definitely keep up and stay tuned with what you do, and we'll throw the links in the description below on how people can follow you and get in contact if they need some cupcakes.
Awesome. Thank you.